All right, a quick overview of redoing the plumbing almost throughout the entire house in an old Philadelphia home, starting with the basement where we had to do brand new plumbing underground. So we'll start at the main, and I'll talk about some issues. I'll try to keep it under 10 minutes, but so this is where our main comes in. I had a problem here with the city of Philadelphia. When I bought the house, the curb box, somebody had filled it with cement. So at the moment, I can't change that valve because it's still filled with cement. So something I have to figure out eventually. But I'm gonna box this out so it's still accessible. Down the line, we'll change this. But for now, it's not leaking, so we're good. We added another Pro Press valve here. Right now I have the hose attached, but the way we have this lined up is we have the valve here before the meter, and then we have another valve here after the meter. And then right there is also ground wire, which is attached all the way to our electrical box. By code, they attach it to the copper pipe. Also by code, the lines coming in, I believe, aren't allowed to be PEX. They have to be copper and either Pro Press or soldered. No shark bites allowed. So then because this is all going to get framed up, we have it here. Basically, it comes up. There's a T, branches off. This is going to curve around, and that's going to be for the spigot outside. And we put the valve right here, so it'll line up basically accessible with the valve box that we're going to kind of leave open. And then we follow this line. We'll go all the way through up here where we tee off again. And the beautiful thing about PEX, you don't constantly need 90s. You can kind of bend it to where you need it. And we're connected here to I did an electric boiler. Did the electric boiler simply because for space, it's gasless, so you don't need to vent it. So you can pretty much put it wherever it's convenient. So this way, this whole area here will be like a giant closet for utilities. And pretty much everything in the house is going to be electric. But you put a valve on the cold water side, because if you turn this off, essentially the way the boiler works is through pressure. So if you turn off the supply line here, there won't be any more hot water going through the house once you turn on a faucet or something. That hasn't been hooked up yet. And then we take the lines, we go here. Now I ran 3/4 lines throughout the whole house. Keep it nice and pressurized. Everything's gonna have good water pressure to it. I teed off at each place, like each bathroom, with 1/2-inch pipes. But the main lines are all 3/4 inch. So what we have here is these are the 2 lines going all the way up to the bathroom. And what I did here is I added isolation valves. So if there's ever a leak in the bathroom and you don't know if it's from the shower, the sink, or whatever, you can run down here and turn off the entire water to the bathroom upstairs. And vice versa, I also added isolation valves for everything else besides the bathroom upstairs. So if there's any other leaks in the basement or the kitchen or anything like that, and you don't know where it's coming from, you can come here, turn off the water, boom, and you're good. All right, the isolation valves help. Instead of doing like a manifold, it's pricey and it's a lot of times unnecessary. This will do just fine. Then we curve this around the framing. We curve it around. And boom, this is our first tee off with 1/2-inch. Teed off for the shower, for the basement shower right there. And we added valves just in case here as well. We'll leave a little box so you have full control over your utilities. You kind of turn it on and off wherever you need. Here we have the shower valve. They say finish wall should be flush with the black plastic piece. It's actually, if you're framing with 2x4s, pretty much if you do a 2x4 at the edge, that's pretty much the distance you need. Right here. I can't remember the numbers, but set this flush with the back end and then screw it in, and you should be good. Here, I don't know what the standard distance is up top, but I like to set mine as high as possible just because the shorter shower heads are super annoying, especially if you're anything above average height, like 5'6". They're super annoying when they're low. Little niche. Let me do the water supply lines first, and then we'll do the drains. So continue here. Again, tee off. We're teeing off here a lot because we're teeing off here for the sink, the vanity, and then also for the laundry. So this little box is super convenient. It's not always necessary. Some people do valves. I like these. Has hammer arresters, has a place for the drain if you want to use it, and it's just very convenient setup. So I notched my beams here so this plastic piece doesn't bump out when the cement boards or sheetrock goes up. So then we have another tee off the cold line for the toilet, which is going to be right there. Toilet about 6 inches away from the drain, approximately. And then the last, well, not the last, but another tee off here for the spigot out back. The reason I use shark bites here is because honestly, the the anti-frost slip cocks, that's what they're called, I can only find shark bite versions. I can't find PEX. So, and we have a valve here just to make sure we can leave it on or off during whenever. And then we come all the way up here with 90s to finish it off for the kitchen. All right, now the drains. Drains coming down, make sure it's sloped. It doesn't need to be this sloped. I think it's about a 1/4 inch for every foot. This is crazy sloped. It's just my blocking and framing, so it's easier for me to just box this out than it was to raise up the drain. So, especially for beginners, a lot of times you don't know what you're going to need, so start off with some basic 90s, 45s, and straight pipes. It's a lot like life. You just kind of, handle it as it comes up. So, here, for example, we needed a street 22.5, long sweep 90, use a 45 to kind of get around this bend because there's a vent there, and then the framing as well kind of got in the way. So, to follow along, we have the drain here, comes down. You always make sure everything's sloped towards the drain. You never want to have anything not sloped or level. So then we do kind of 2 45s to make this super long 90. And then we slope all the way here to this new stack that I've made because the old one was there, broke off. These iron ones are just very old. Drains here. This is the new main line that we dug up. It's about 20 feet. So let me finish here though. But so it's a new stack. Then we have a vent pipe here. You need your vents, I think, within 10 feet of every, thing that drains, sinks, toilets, anything that has a drain, showers. So here's our vent. This goes all the way up to the roof. We connected upstairs. I'll show you with a Fernco. And then we kind of just made it our way down here, connected with the 45s. And now with the vent, we have it, ironically, sloped the other way. So because I'm feeding other things with this vent, I have it sloped the opposite direction of kind of this. So air doesn't get trapped in. If any condensation or any water or anything kind of builds up, it drains right out. So this is the first vent right here, connected to where the sink for laundry, the laundry sink is going to be. Also where we connected a P-trap for the washing machine directly. So you'll hook it into here and have its own drain essentially. And if anything ever clogs or anything like that, I thought, you can always hook it directly into the sink. So you're covered on that end. Again, make sure everything's sloped properly, even these parts. Make sure this part is, sloped that way. It doesn't need to be crazy, but just a little bit. And then we have the vent coming around here. We came around. That was an accident. Came around. And here we had to reduce to 1.5 inches just to save space. And this is the vent only for the sink. And the whole thing with this is I had to run it this way is because it wasn't high. The vent wasn't high enough over there. And originally I was thinking about coming up, and down. Then I realized, that's not acceptable because air fluids can get trapped in that space up there, since it's not the highest point, kind of. So everything's made slope down all the way around to the sink. This is going to be the vanity. Now with this venting, pretty much this whole line is also vented in multiple areas. 1, 2, 3 areas along the way. That's why you didn't need a vent at the shower or at the toilet. And this is just me saying that, not a professional plumber. Then this is our main line that I think we showed in the previous video. But pretty much this is 25 feet approximately. This is about 14, 15 inches from the flush with the wall, which it only needs to be 12, but we have the space. So 12 from the wall, finished wall, and 15, I believe, from any, barrier. So we have more than enough space between the sink and between the wall. I think we're at like 20-some inches. Plenty of space. Here is going to be the framing for the shower wall. Now, one issue here, for example, is because you're going to say, I could not dig deeper because there's more concrete, more cement under this, which is just a pain in the neck. This used to be a garage. So the one issue I have here is this fitting sits just a little above the finished grade. So what I'm going to have to do for this shower, so there's not constant pressure on this fitting, is level it off and raise it up a bit with self-leveling concrete or mortar, just so that this shower does not apply constant pressure to this. But anyway, we have Y's, 3 to 1.5, 3 to 2 inch, 3 to 2 inch sweeps. Here we have a 3 to 2 inch Y. There's no particular reason for why which one over the other that I know of. I just kind of had those two lying around, but I bought sweeps instead. Had to do a coupling here, just because 10-foot pipes. And then here I did a clean out with a saddle. So I made sure that the finished tile would be roughly flush with this cap, like that. So, see, very little. Once the mortar goes on, it'll be flush with the floor. Then we go, everything's sloped, mind you. And again, here, you don't really know what you need until you need it. Just figure things out as you go. This was connected with a 4x3 saddle as well. They work great, super easy to work with. You don't have to cut the whole pipe. Here, with this weird drain, what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up this piece of tile over it with that pipe. The tile broke on me, but I'll fix it with some mortar. And then what I'll do is do a 3-inch to a 2-inch reducer and have this kind of drain flush with the floor. Right? Now let's run upstairs before my battery dies. Upstairs there isn't much. You want to have your kitchen layout designed already. It helps a lot. And then this I kind of just centered. So this is going to be the center of the sink from the wall and horizontally and vertically. And then the water lines I pretty much did just a few inches behind it. Hot, cold. Now, we closed off all the valves. This is a dishwasher, dual close valve, so we can attach a dishwasher line. Super handy. That way you don't have to tee off with 2 different valves. We put these on so that way we can close a valve and pressurize the system, make sure nothing's leaking before installing everything else. All right. this stack was already here. It was already, oh, fuck.